We're here today in the KX Country Clubhouse. We're with Alana Springsteen.
What's up?
Oh, what's going on?
Dude, we just rolled up. It's good to be here.
Rolled up. You got here like an hour ago.
Yeah.
And your set's coming up
pretty
quick
quick
here. That was like reminiscent of last year. I know Tim McGraw flew in during Riley Green's set, and Riley Green was basically he was support for Tim McGraw.
Wow.
And we see like the plane fly overhead, and we're like,
Tim's doing it right. Tim's doing it right with that private jet.
Just Tim doing Tim things.
It's awesome.
How has it been? Like, what have you been up to? It's been such a, I feel like a whirlwind of a couple of years for you.
Yep, took the words out of my mouth, man. Since the top of this year, we've been on the road like crazy. I got to go out with Luke Bryan this summer.
Oh,
we've had the best time. I actually just got back from Vegas.
Okay.
That's where we flew in from. I was on a red eye all night. I just dropped this song with Tiesto. Do you listen to dance music?
Yes, yeah.
He is one of my favorite DJs. Yeah. So when he reached out with this song, I was like, this is such a cool opportunity to grow and just push myself and try something new, get outside my comfort zone, and put my own stamp on it. And I love this song. It just dropped a couple weeks ago. We've been trying to make a Vegas performance work, and this was like the only time I had. So we just got back from that, did a little pop-up with him at one of his shows, and it was so hype, so cool. First time in Vegas for me too. An absolute blast. And in the midst of all that too, I've been working on a brand new album.
You are
a lot of new music.
Oh, that's so good.
And I just, man, every time I get in the writing room, every time I get in the studio, I'm just reinvigorated, so fired up. 20-something was my debut album. It dropped last year, and I feel like I learned so much about myself through writing it. I walked out on the other side of that a more confident, empowered version of myself. And going into this new era, I told everybody, I was like, this is my villain era. Like, I'm coming in hot, giving 0 Fs, like all the confidence, all the power. It's funny because the first couple of songs I wrote, first time I walk into a session, I wrote a really soft love song. So I feel like the music always has a way of surprising me. And one thing that I've learned is that sometimes being strong, that confidence comes out in the form of staying soft. And that was a big lesson for me to learn. I think
that was deep.
Yeah.
That's real deep.
Honestly, I'm going deep. Like, with 20-something, I learned so much. I answered a lot of questions, but it also raised a lot of questions. And people kept telling me, like, you never really stop figuring life out. And they were right. Like, I've learned a lot about myself, but you never really stop getting to know who you are. And this record just leans even further into that. So I'm really excited.
And people connect with that as well. You talk about 20-something, and you had the opportunity to collab with so many fantastic artists. Mitchell Tenpenny, Chris. He was a song with Chris Stapleton on the album as well. Like, how is it working with those guys?
God, it's so surreal. I mean, Mitchell is a homie. We met writing songs. I mean, we wrote "You Don't Deserve a Country Song" together, which was the first song I released off of 20-something. We went on tour together, and then we got to write the song "Goodbye Looks Good on You," and it did so many special things last year. It was just wild to see how fans connected to that story. I think we all need a little bit of positivity and manifesting mature breakups. Honestly, none of mine have gone this way, but we can hope, we can dream, right? So he just continues to be such a friend and never ceases to call me and be like, yo, how are you? Just encouraging me, lifting me up.
You need those people in your corner.
You really do. You really do. And then, you mentioned the song with Chris Stapleton, Ghost in My Guitar, came out. And that the whole way that collaboration came together was such a God thing. And it's still so surreal to see his name on that track. He brought so much life to it, so much personality to that electric guitar part. And I feel like it's a very unique thing to country. You get people that are your heroes that become collaborators and just make everything more real.
How cool is that? Yeah.
What life is this that I get to live?
How did I get here?
You want to take a chance on an up-and-coming artist and believe that much in the song and in me. So I will never take that for granted.
And you mentioned Luke Bryan as well. And is that another homie? Because he was the one that invited you to the Grand Ole Opry.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's a full circle moment. I mean, the first time I went to the Grand Ole Opry, I was 10 years old. Little me sitting up in the pews on stage and watching the curtain come up. Luke Bryan comes out and slays. He plays Rain Is a Good Thing. It was right during that crazy rise, and just the way he connected with his fans was something I'd never seen before, and it inspired me so much. And he heard that story and wanted to be a part of like telling me that I was getting to make my debut. Like you mentioned, he FaceTimed me out of the blue, and I was like, oh my God, it's Luke Bryan.
This is not happening right now.
Yeah,
oh my God.
Exactly. Like going from that to being on the road, having him just pour into me, encourage me, give me advice, learning so much from him. We were on tour together last year, and now we're on tour together again. So yeah, I would call us homies. Like he's a friend. We're just hanging backstage, having drinks. Like, and he just continues to encourage me, give me advice. Watching that show every night, I've learned so much. I've learned so much from him.
And you've had an opportunity now to be all over. Is there one place that maybe sticks out in your mind? Because you were out in Europe.
Yeah.
You've been all over the United States. You're here in Canada now.
It's crazy. I never dreamt that I would get to travel this much. I mean, I'm from a small town in Virginia Beach called Pungo, and my family, like my parents, still have not really gotten outside the U.S. Like, I just grew up in that town where you kind of grow up there, you stay there, you have a family, and like put your roots down, and I just always had that in me that I wanted to see the world. I wanted to experience other cultures, and I'm so lucky that I've gotten to do that. That music is like done that for me, has taken me to all these incredible places. I freaking loved Ireland. We got to do
everyone who's been there I think says that.
God, like Dublin, if you get a chance to go to Dublin, and we played a show there, a headline show at Whelan's, which is an iconic club that like Ed Sheeran, like so many people came up playing. And after that show, I was just hyped. We ended up having a night out in Dublin. The pubs are so cool. Everybody's so nice. Like we had a blast. Love Ireland. Honestly, love Toronto too. I got to visit when I was younger. Did CN Tower, like did the whole thing off the top.
You gotta. You have to on that glass floor.
Conquered my fear of heights. But we got to play a show with Luke Bryan last year here too, and I definitely did some damage vintage shopping. Great vintage scene, great coffee.
Huge vintage scene.
So I'm so happy to be back.
And then you also, I saw that you played. It was fantastic, by the way. Your Tiny Desk.
Oh, you saw that?
So I love Tiny Desk, and so I saw your Tiny Desk. What? I feel like everyone has a favorite Tiny Desk.
Oh gosh,
What is your favorite Tiny Desk? I'm putting you on the spot here.
I have so many. No, not at all. Like I grew up watching Tiny Desk. Like I would analyze these performances, the way they would flip the arrangements on their head, do something different, interesting. Coldplay's is still up at the top for me.
I was hoping you were going to say that.
Oh my gosh.
It's the best.
Like just so much heart. So much heart in the performance, and I loved all the vocalists he brought in. Like it was just really, really special. Also, Billie Eilish is up there for me too. I think just to see how much vocal control she has, and it's different. Like when you walk in Tiny Desk, you see it literally is a tiny desk. Like I don't know what I was expecting, but it's an office.
It's not a big desk. It's
like
just a little desk.
People are working like at their cubicles across the way. And there is no production, like no tracks, no auto tune, no verb. Like you can't even really. They don't. What do you call it? There's no like monitors. There's no speakers.
So it's really
just audio capture. You're trying to play to each other in the room and feel it out. And I honestly, you don't know how it's going to sound until the day of, until it drops. So it gives me even more respect now going and watching it back. I'm like, this is true artistry. And I think that's the special thing about Tiny Desk. Like you can't hide behind anything.
Well, I know Lasso has you. You're going to be off to Montreal as well. So you get to cross that one off the list. But we got you here at Boots and Hearts today. What are, fans or people maybe that haven't heard of you before? What do you have in store?
Man, I think people that haven't seen a show probably are a little surprised the first time they see me live. I write a lot of deep song and there's a lot of emotion there, but I love to rock out. Like my show is a party. We're drinking, we're doing tequila shots. Like it's just fun. And I think that's something I've learned from Luke, people like Kenny. Like I love when an artist just has their guard down and is all about having a good time. Like it makes the audience have permission to do that too. They're like, we're letting loose too. We're just gonna go for it. So I think they can expect to have a damn good time. Like I said, lots of tequila and lots of dancing, but also like I'm not afraid to go deep either. Like I love having amen in the set, like a stripped moment too, to just be like, this is me as a songwriter. This is how I wrote this song. This is how I'm going to deliver it. So yeah, just a little bit of everything.
We can't wait to see Alana Springsteen today. We're going to rock out. We're going to party. It's going to be a lot of fun here in the KX Country Clubhouse with Alana Springsteen.